Here's an example in the documentation of the shape reference modes. A single cluster with a keyframe, just at that frame, nothing else. An envelope inside the finger, which is then animated over time to see the different results: local relative, object relative, and absolute. Local deforms with the object and is relative to the normal. Object relative keeps the original orientation. Absolute, why the name is absolute in space. An example of this is here. The majority of the times you will want local relative. Now this is because here inside the construction history we can see the different types, where the envelope operator is in fact before the cluster shape combiner. Now it's important to understand that how the evaluation is being done. If we were to start with, say, absolute and move the envelope operator above the cluster shape combiner, you notice we get an identical result to local relative. If we would do it to both object and local, we now have the same results. So the envelope operator being above the cluster shape combiner will give us the desired results. This is normally with shape animation as well as deformation animation. Deformation is going to be twist, but the majority of the times it's going to be your envelope. Now the cluster shape combiner will always live in shape modeling, and pretty much all the time you will want your envelope operator to live in animation. That way, when you do shape animation as well, the envelope doesn't get destroyed and you can freeze all the modeling. So working with the envelope operator in animation and understanding that always the cluster shape combiner is going in shape modeling, that your envelope operator is above the cluster shape combiner in the stack, and therefore these modes are mostly academic. There will be an occasional time, as you can see right at the beginning of the video, that there are occasions where you might want to change the order in the construction history. With that said, this is why now object relative mode is the default. This is because you have all of the functionality that you would get with local, but the calculations are considerably faster. Absolute is faster still, but there is slightly less flexibility when you're coming to do the extra shape animation. Absolute is perhaps best used if you're going to be plotting your data and never going to be deforming it again with like an envelope operator. So the default being mixed weight mode for the keyframing and object relative mode for the deformation.